Yeah, it's time for two legends, two icons of video gaming to go at it. This is the promised deathmatch from last week. Coming in from the left side, we have one of the craziest, coolest, most memorable, most... What do you say about someone like this? None other than Crash Bandicoot. And coming in from the right side, we have the Speedster, the Blue Blow, the Hedgehog above all others, Sonic the Hedgehog. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's have this battle commence. Y'all, this deathmatch is one of the most interesting, actually, that you can ever think of. I know people love to do these kind of matches, and it's different from a matchup that I've done thus far. Any matchup, any death match I've done thus far, don't be surprised. Let me tell y'all, anything's possible with these death matches, as long as it's in reason. Now, there'll be some people that say, I know there'll be some fanboys on both sides. I know. These are two, no bias here for me. Let y'all know, Crash Bandicoot is my favorite video game character of all time. I grew up with him, but it's other reasons. I just love his skill set, his just a lot about him. Kratos might be number 2, I'm not sure, but I grew up loving Sonic. I really do. Sonic, yeah. What can you say about it? The dude is straight bullets and folks. He's straight speed. It's a hedgehog, and if you ever dealt with real hedgehogs are just cool like that. Okay, so no bias and there's no favoritism. And then there'll be a lot of people like, but Sonic's ability. Look, man, look. Understand, you can't, when you're looking at a battle, when you're looking at especially a death match, you can't just look one-dimensionally. It's multifaceted. So once again, I will come into the analysis to deal with this situation, to deal with this death match, and to see who can come out victorious. So, as I always do, I break this down into 3 major categories, and each category will be broken down into subcategories, a few different subcategories. Now, starting off, as usual, the attack category. And if you know how I do, it's strength, speed, techniques, and destructive capacity / power. Now, to begin with strength, these are both unique individuals in their own rights, because they're both able to lift many times their own, seemable weight. When you have Crash Bandicoot, he's been shown commonly, even if a bit of struggle, to lift stone blocks, so that's heavy. So he has, some may argue, superhuman. I don't know how you characterize his physical strength. Now, I understand strength is physical strength. When you look at, he's shown to lift, he's not shown to lift massive boulders or anything like that, but compared to his size, he's very strong. When you look at Sonic the Hedgehog, he's shown to lift things, like I said, well over his. He's shown to be able to rip apart steel, robots, and whatnot. But when I look at both characters and their skill sets and their preferences, Sonic is more based on speed, and Crash is more based on pure physical raw strength. So I will give the slight edge in the strength category to Crash Bandicoot. Now, we look at speed. Do we even need to question this? This is where a lot of people say, oh, the match is decided, which it is not. When you look at Crash actually does move pretty fast. And if you add in, which I'll add in the techniques, Polar, it's a polar bear that he sometimes rides, especially earlier on in his lifetime. Lifetime as a mutant animal, I should say. It enhances his speed. But by himself, we could say, he's obviously subsonic. Is he Olympic fast? I'm not sure actually how fast Crash is. He's definitely above average human speed. I'll at least say that. If maybe Olympic, I wouldn't go so far as to say superhuman. Now, when we look at Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic, yeah, easily beats the speed of sound. At times, I mean, it's debatable how fast Sonic actually is and how fast he can actually go, but easily you know, potentially supersonic, hypersonic. Some may push it to speed. I don't buy the whole speed of light concept, but anyway, it doesn't matter. It's obvious that Sonic wins the speed matchup. I mean, his whole combat scheme, I'll deal with fighting style later, his whole combat scheme is based on speed. His name, I mean, come on, he's Sonic. So we're tied up 1-1. Now, when we look at techniques is very interesting. Both have very useful and actually quite similar skill sets. Different but similar. I mean, you have the base Crash Bandicoot. He has his classic spin attack, his classic jump. He also has, let's see, those were his basics. Then from there, he developed the double jump. He developed the death tornado, something like that. He developed sliding attacks. He also has a bazooka, a Wampa Fruit bazooka, mind you that. You can add in Polar from time to time. He uses various things to be able to swim as well. And I mean, those are the basics. He has some specialties, but I won't those are the main hits of. There might be one more, but those are the main ones. Now when you look at Sonic, he has, his spin attack. He has his charge spin. When he goes in the air, he can spin around. He has his own speed sliding attacks. He has upgraded steps, upgraded abilities. He also, one of the key points is, now Sonic has a bunch of single only games or episode transformations, but I will exclude those because not only does it make them more OP, but it may, I'm trying to limit it to the most seen. Besides his normal Sonic state, he transforms into Super Sonic, and here he can definitely go super hypersonic. With it, Sonic can fly. He can actually swim. Sonic by himself naturally can't swim. Now, Crash, without some school gear and stuff, he can't really swim under. He can go in shallow water, but not deep water, and whatnot. Now, with Sonic, he can't swim, but if he's in Super Sonic, he can. I believe he can unleash chaos powers. He's nearly invulnerable. You understand? But with Crash, another thing I must add to technique, which will go more so with the durability, but one of his techniques, an important one to add, is his Aku ability. That'll be pivotal in a battle like this. What is Aku? It's the mask. It's the ancient mage witch doctor, however you want to say it, possessed, coming to the power of the mask, and he follows Crash. And if Crash collects, normally if Crash collects a certain amount of mass, he helps. He becomes invulnerable for a short amount of time. Also, and later on, Aku actually gets to the point where he actually helps block some of the attacks of Crash occasionally, and also the fact is, in the Titan games later on down the line, Crash has the ability to jack other bodies. So again, that kind of skill set may come in handy in this battle. And another point is, Crash, although, I'll get to more of his intellect and whatever, he's able to, somehow he has a vast knowledge of different weapons and as well as vehicles. I'm not saying whether or not that'll play a key in this battle, but it's a good thing to know. Now, especially the weapons part. Now, when you look at destructive capacity, so overall skill set, I say even. Just say they're even. It's too much to nitpick about. Now, with destructive capacity, we look at it. Crash has been shown. It's both both of these characters. It's very hard to see what their actual potential is. Crash has been shown to defeat characters much larger than himself. He's been shown to destroy some very large objects, his spin attack especially, that thing's monster. I mean, it's nah, that belongs to another category, but that spin attack is monstrous. Now you look at Sonic, he's also able to, you know, destroy, steal, go through things, destroy objects and whatever. But as far as in actual raw power, from what I know of them, and correct me if I'm wrong, I have to give the edge, once again, slightly to Crash, because here's the thing, with Sonic, his whole scheme, and we're going to talk more in depth later, is based on speed. And if he don't have quite that speed, he doesn't have quite that destructive capacity. Crash, on the other hand, can spin on the spot, boom, you understand, make junk happen. Now, when we look at, you know, so overall in the attack category, Crash edges slightly in it because of the strength and destructive capacity. The speed clearly goes to Sonic, so it's not much of a difference. It's a slight edge, you could say, to Crash, slight. Now with the defense category, we break that down into four subcategories. It's reaction time, durability, stamina, and agility. Now once again, this gonna be tight because it's hard to gauge, but with reaction time it's quite simple. Crash actually, he's got okay reaction time. It's nothing spectacular. It's really not. So I'm not even gonna spend time on that. When you look at Sonic, on the other hand, once again, he's a speed guy. His reaction time's on point. He's got very, very good, to say the least, reaction time. So this is clearly simple put. Sonic wins reaction time. Now when we go into durability, here's the funny part, because it's hard to say. It really is hard to gauge. Crash he can survive a lot. Okay, the only things he ain't surviving is like nitro boxes. TNT is a question, but nitros, he ain't surviving. He's surviving large falls. Now Sonic, it's iffy. Crash, but I mean he takes hits from some enemies larger himself. Okay, he takes massive hits. He can drown away. Sonic, once again, against one, but as far as he's concerned, he can take hits. He's no punk either, you know. I mean, not punk in a good way. I mean punk as in, you know, he's no pushover either. He's been shown at different times to, you know, survive free fall and different stuff. But overall, in general, Sonic, his durability is not as great as Crash's overall. Now, specific times, specific games, changes. Now, if you want to add into the Supersonic, though, it's clear. But besides, I'm just going to base normal state. In general, Crash has the edge. And when it comes to stamina, once again, it's very tight and it's hard to tell. Crash can keep going for hours on end, no problem. Sonic, it's hard to say what his stamina is itself. He's gone a lot, and he runs a lot. But Crash, I don't think I've ever seen Crash grow tired. Never. He can get bored, but I've never seen him grow tired. Sonic, I don't know. So in this category, I'll actually put it about even, because here's it. With these guys, do they ever get tired? You could say sometimes, you know, if Sonic he can't charge for too long on his run and stuff, but other than that, is that really showing exhaustion of his speed? Because he'll blitz, you know. Maybe if he blitzes around for hours, I don't know. I can't say, but I'll give it even. Now when it comes to agility, different from reaction time, Crash actually has very great. His agility is solid. His agility, the fact that he developed a double jump, the fact that his jump, you know, he's constantly moving, and he has to against very powerful opponents, whether they have ray guns, you know, lasers, or they have special abilities, or they're just massively powerful in their own right now. You know, they're monsters, are strong and whatnot, like a Tiny or a Kong. So I mean, his agility, it's on point. When he died like that. Now, when you look at, you know, Sonic, obviously he's highly agile. He's highly agile as well. You know, he can move around and whatnot. But the thing about it is, what negates his actual agility is his speed. He doesn't have to rely so much on his agility as much as Crash does. So with that factor alone, because of the speed factor, I have to give the slight edge and the agility to once again the Crash. So once again, it was tight fought. Crash edges out barely or in these areas. Reaction time obviously goes to Sonic. Durability, I gave it to Crash. Stamina, I put it at pretty much dead even. And when it comes to agility, Crash edges that out as well. Now, strategy. What a lot of people don't consider when it comes to fighting. Strategy. Break that down into 3 subcategories. You have location, fighting style, and fighting IQ. Now, in terms of location, this is actually going to be pretty pivotal in my decision making. Once again, Sonic normally can't swim. Without Supersonic, he's not swimming. So that's actually a factor potentially. If they get in the tussle or whatever. Crash, he can kind of swim. When you look at it, they're probably not going to fight in water, but, you knock Sonic in the water, it might be game over. If that can actually happen. And why can that happen? Because Crash normally fights on islands. I mean, he fights other places, but he generally fights on islands. Okay? It's where you're going to find him at. Sonic, he's all over the place, but Sonic has no real set, So, if it's outside, if it's in, obviously, like an open plain, Sonic's got the advantage. But, because, once again, I keep mentioning Sonic speed base, if it's anywhere, even in an urban setting, if I'm talking about a real urban setting, Sonic, he might have some trouble. He may be able to run around and stuff. He may or may not have trouble. If you give him space, Sonic's got the edge. If you don't, Crash has a good fighting chance to win. Now, when you look at fighting style, Crash is a mainly close-range fighter. You can't even really say much really mid-range attacks, mainly close-range. But he does, have special weapons and whatever that he uses from time to time, rockets and whatever. But I remember mentioning that Wampa, kind of bazooka kind of going there. So he does have some long-range attacks, but with those, he generally can't move. Okay, understand that. But if he gets in, it's over. If he gets into you, it is over. He's going to mess you up. It's not super powerful, but he will jack you up. Now, when you look at Sonic, though, what have I continued to say? This whole thing relies on speed. Everything relies on speed. If he can't move his feet, whether it be his actual running or his faster, more destructive moves, his spin attacks, okay, the ball form, with when he goes in the Hedgehog, and with that speed, he is devastating. He's devastating to normal opponents. But without that speed, Sonic's not brawling. He doesn't have that, that capability. If Crash gets up in there, don't know what to tell you, Don't know what to tell you. He will have to do a lot of evasion with Crash, because if he allows Crash to get in there, it's not good. It's not a good day for Sonic. Now, when you look at fighting IQ, Crash is on that Goku school of thought. What I mean by that is his base normal intelligence. You can't say he's completely stupid. Obviously, he can work on, as far as in Crashes, he can do, engine. He can kind of deal with machinery. He can deal with weapons or whatever for whatever reason. But as far as in the book smarts area, he doesn't care, nor does he doesn't want. I mean, his speaking ability is questionable. He just doesn't care about it. And he's just not that bright. Now, when it comes to common sense, when it comes to that word, he's got the common sense. But pure and simple, he's a fighter. Born, bred, dead. He's a fighter. And when it comes to fighting, he's not a fighting genius, but he has a pretty good pretty high fighting intellect. As obvious as well, where he knows how to deal with weapons like it's nothing. He's fought many opponents, and he knows how to defeat various types of opponents. I mean, when you look at the fact he's fought against people far more intelligent in a normal sense, with whether it be Dr. Neo Cortex, Dr. Engine, Dr. Brio. When you look Entropy, you look at also he's fought crazier people than himself, which is hard to say. Now, understand his personality. Crash is, you know, he's sometimes irritable, but he's normally laid back, chilling, whatever. But when it comes to fighting, he's ferocious. Now he's fought people crazier than himself. Dingo Dial, Ripperoo, for example. Rillaroo, but Ripperoo's insane, man. Not in a good way. And then when you look at, he's also fought people far stronger than him. For example, just, you know, you could go Tiny and Kong, you know. Then if you want to do Crunch Bandicoot, you know, I'll tell you, he's fought all kinds of characters, and he's come out relatively unscathed, so he's good. Now, Sonic's actually gotten pretty good skills because he has also a wide range of experience when it comes to combat as well. To say his fighting intelligence, he's got good. It's to say the least, it's solid. You know, he's also, you know, encountered various situations. But the difference between the way Crash's situations have been and the way Sonic's have been, Sonic has fought a lot of Eggman. He's fought various characters. I mean, he did fight Knuckle and whatever. It was more of a like cerebral kind of thing with Sonic, and as far as in Crash, it was a read and react. So you can't, you know, you can't say which style is better than the other, but they both have fairly high fighting IQ. Who's the better? In from my view, from what I know, Crash does edge him up. But Sonic, you know, it can go back and forth. It depends on the way you take it. Now, overall, who do I have as a victor? Surprisingly, I'm going with the underdog. I'm going with Crash. Once again, there's no favoritism. Here's why I pick Crash over Sonic. Once again, the location. Normally, and I'll mention something about Sonic's personality. I'll mention a little bit about Crash. When you look at the location, most likely this bout is going to take place on an island that's probably full of trees. Probably. Now, the reason I say it will, because Crash probably ain't leaving. He don't care. Now, Sonic's normally, you know, pretty chill and laid back and stuff, but he's highly competitive. He's cocky. That's something you gotta consider. He's cocky, and he relies very much on his natural abilities, natural talents. You know what I'm saying? When you look at Crash knows he doesn't have the natural talents that others have, so he has to compensate in other ways. He's not just going to go to a whole foreign place to fight some dude. Sonic might, okay? And Crash, his laid back way, even though irritable, he's not going to, you know, care to battle. But if this happens, it'll happen on somewhere near Crash's type of turf. Also, when you're taking them, I'm giving the personalities. When you look at the terrain, it does not hold good for Sonic. He can't blitz around in a heavily wooded area. Now, he may be destroying trees, but say, you know, Crash sneak up. Crash has been fighting him. He's gonna pound and grab. It's just gonna, both sides are gonna take some mad hits. But to me, one of the key differences is the fact of the weaponry. Now, people can say what they want, but Sonic's moving. If Sonic keeps taking hits, he's not gonna be moving that fast. Okay. Plus, Crash sniping them Wampa fruits does not run out of ammo. Doesn't run out. Okay. And plus, if some manage, you know, take into consideration if Crash has swimming gear, it's over. He takes Sonic into the water, it's over. Okay, he knocks him in the water, it's over. It's over. It's gonna be a cakewalk from that point. So when I look at these factors, you know what I'm saying, and you know, Sonic, he'll survive. It's gonna be a tough battle, no lie. I'm not calling a sneeze, but because of certain factors that you have to take into consideration, I have to give the edge to Crash Bandicoot as a winner of this deathmatch. Unexpected winner. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell me your thoughts. Tell me who you think would win, and give you reasons why. I don't just want, because Sonic has the speed, because Crash can do. No. I want legit reasons and realistic reasons. Alright, y'all. Till next time. Peace.